The more I play and die in Breath of the Wild, I start to notice that maybe what makes the game great is all the small additions that devs spent hours upon hours on in an attempt to make the game truly unique, and here are some of my favorites. If you climb up to the top of the peaks in Breath of the Wild, you might notice there's a small cabin. Here you can play a game that should have been in Wii Sports until your shield breaks, but granted, that is part of the fun. You can kind of turn it into a game. All you need to do is equip some low durability shields, and then you see how long it takes to break. Now, you might want to journey to this place of shield surfing, but you are a little too poor to afford some warm clothing, so a great solution is to get a fire blade. This weapon will allow you to keep warm and cozy as you make the ascent. Just make sure that you do not run into some of the enemies in the snowy areas. They can be quite powerful, and without good armor, it can be a very bad day, especially if you encounter Lionel. Just run at that point, or try to give a peace offering. Both should work though. Now, if you choose to engage some enemies, the bomb arrows can help with that. I know it's not very obscure, but they are great in every Zelda game, and this one is no exception. They make a big explosion, and it's so much fun to use them. See, I'm a very simple man, and all I need to be happy are a few big explosions, and I really don't know anything that is better than that. If you go to the Lost Woods, you might notice there are a few Koroks that are standing on the different corners. They will give you some quests if you ask them. The premise of them are very simple, but trying to make it through the forest while avoiding enemies in search of a few spare orbs is a good way to add some variety and content to the game. Now, if you need to take off with your paraglider and you do not have a cliff to jump off or Revali scale, this is where fire can come in handy. All you need to do is light the ground and off you go into the air. You can now explore Hyrule from the air to your heart's content. Well, until you lose altitude a few seconds later, or lose all your stamina and plunge into Hyrule below. That is not the most pleasant result, but there's risks involved with everything, so it's okay. Sometimes you just need to take a break from all the action in Breath of the Wild. If this is the case, you can head on down to Hateno Village and cross the bridge in order to find some people demolishing a house. Not very nice if you ask me, but if you speak to them, give them some supplies and rubies, you can find yourself a very nice house. You can even do some renovations to it and add some nice things, like a sign. Perfect. Not all of your good deeds will be recognized in Hyrule. In fact, some people are not very happy to see you. This is where the Flower Lady comes in. If you take one small misstep, she'll get very mad, but luckily she has great restraint and lets you go, for now. If you continue to push your luck though, she will decide to take matters into her own hands and smite you. Well, not completely, you will still be alive, but something will probably end up finishing you off later in a very unfortunate encounter. Like I said, I am a simple man. Explosions and fire are all that I need to stay happy, and that is why I'm going to put Link bursting into flames as he enters Death Mountain as my number 3. What could be better than just kind of sitting there and watching the fun as Link dies? If you enter Gerudo Desert, Link just kind of gets a little sick, and that is no fun. Link bursting into flames, 10 out of 10. Great stuff. The Cuckoos have long been a staple in the Zelda franchise, and for good reason. Who wouldn't want to get swarmed and murdered by a bunch of birds? I mean, these guys are immoral. I bet even Ganon could not find a way to kill them. In fact, if enemies attack Cuckoos, they will end up being swarmed and soon face their demise at the hands of some feathered friends. I mean, have you ever wondered why Kakariko Village never gets invaded in Zelda? It's the Cuckoos. Nobody wants to mess with these guys. By far, the best feature in Breath of the Wild is Tarrey Town. It is an extension to the house quest. Instead of renovating a house, you can build an entire town. The entire thing is executed so well. From the music to the characters you meet, it all draws the players into a great immersive experience. Not only do you get the satisfaction of turning some rocks into a town, but the rewards from the quests are great. You get some of the best shops in the game and the ability to buy the Hylian shield. The only thing that would make the quest better is some more explosions.